good?
So many hours, trials and errors. We're finally here.
I know.
It's been so long since we've done this in person, so you are the first guest in a while.
Yes, love that.
So thank you so much for coming.
Of course.
Thank you for your patience.
Thanks for thinking of me. It was great.
Thank you so much for having patience that I don't have to do all of this. Introduce yourself. Tell us your name. Tell us what you do for work and what your views are on mental health.
Everything you told us, like maybe the past 2 hours.
Yes. Without the camera being on, right? Well, hello, my name is Adriel. Pleasure to be here. I'm currently a rehabilitation counselor / therapist. Been doing that for about 4 years. Views on mental health, you can go a lot of different directions, right? But mental health, I'm a strong believer that mental health is just as important as your physical health. I think people overlook that sometimes, especially now when we went through COVID. You know, mental health is now increased in a lot of different ways, and I think it really put more like an emphasis, you know, that people really should be taking care of themselves mentally. You know, I'm a firm believer in if you don't take care of yourself mentally, you can't really go where you want to be, right? So tough world, but you know, we can do it. We've talked about it before, but. You know, a lot to take in, but mental health definitely really, really important to me, for sure.
So talk to me about your journey as a therapist. Like, what made you want to be in this field?
Ooh, yeah, I love that question because, you know, not everyone's journey is different. I mean, not everyone's journey is the same, right? It's so different, and I wasn't supposed to be on this journey either. You know, it was.
So what journey were you supposed to be on?
So, I was in line to be a nurse, which I have a lot of respect for the nursing. What they took us to, of course, through COVID as well. But I've always liked psychology. I like the way people think. I like people's behaviors. I want to know why you did that, what you did, like what's your reasoning behind that. So I made the switch to psychology. But you know, once I found my groove and found what I really wanted to do, you know, psychology, graduated with my bachelor's, and then I went up to my master's. But what really opened me up, I think, in my journey, I think, which is a big part, is one of my internships that I did. Was at a hospital, Newbridge Medical Center, and it was great because you saw a lot, like you see a lot of mental health in movies and books and things like that, but you don't really see it until you actually see it with your own eyes. Mm-hmm. So being a part of that internship was like opened my eyes up to things that I never thought I would see, but also made me realize that this is where I want to be. This is the field that I want to be in. I believe also my journey is not over yet. I think the journey is just beginning. Mm-hmm. You know, despite me being in my job for a long time, I feel there's a whole world out there still to see, to accomplish. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Sure.
You said that you got some backlash from your family. Mm-hmm. Why? What happened?
They just expected me, I guess, the expectations when it comes to family of, you know, continuing the line of nurses. So like when I told them, I sat them down maybe a night or two after I decided to switch, and I told them like, hey, like, you know, I love what I do, but I think I'm gonna make a switch to psychology. You know, it took them like a little surprise because it came out of nowhere, which I don't blame them for. But for them to say like, you know, they're not mad at my switch, but they were kind of disappointed. You know, you never want your parents to tell you you're disappointed. Like, that's just kind of like a shot in the heart. You could be mad at me, you could do all you want, but when you tell me that you're disappointed because of a switch, it's like, wow, that kind of hurts.
Like, that hits harder.
It hits different. It hits way different.
In Hispanic culture too, that hits very hard when someone says like, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, and then now it's all about like, let me prove you wrong. Let me try to, you know. So I definitely have an extra motivation to fuel in the fire. It made me like want to do better. It made me want to prove wrong. Like, yes, like nursing is a very stable job. Nothing wrong with that, but I know I could find my stability somewhere else and still be successful in my own way, you know. And there's no doctors in my family either, so that's also a goal if I wanted to ever get my doctorate in something.
Oh God.
You know, I know you probably have thought that too. You know, it's just
I'm not really thinking it.
Yeah, I have not.
Funny enough, like on the way here, I was talking to my friend, and I was like, because we grow up in a family where they want us to do better for ourselves. Mm-hmm. They want us to make goals for ourselves and be able to reach them, and that's great. this fire is lit inside of us where
yeah.
we want to do better for ourselves, and
Yes.
we know we can continue doing better, which is why there's never like an end.
Yes.
There's never a finish line. It's like, okay, we know we can do better, let's do better.
Let's do it. Yeah.
And at least for me, that end goal is the PhD.
Yes, for sure.
And that's why I like, and I've talked about this a few times where it's like, I want to go for the PhD, but the rejection of that end goal not being able to be accomplished is what's scaring me.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Why though?
I agree.
We've talked about this so many times.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Why what?
Why are you so afraid of getting rejected?
Because then okay, I'm type A. I'm 100% type A, where I have plans, I have goals. If those goals aren't reached, then I have to switch to another plan. And then that just, for that moment in my life, that's when those plans are ruined, and that's when I start to like kind of go into hiding, and I'm just like, oh my god, how do I get my life back on track? And especially being the oldest of 3, I'm the oldest girl, I'm the oldest sibling in general, and so not having that figured out to me is the moment where I'm like in distress, because it's like, oh my god, where my life derails right there and then. Even though I have those other plans backed up, now I need to figure out how my life is going to go back on track for those plans.
I get that. I agree with that.
But are you scared to get rejected in like to the doctorate school, or like what?
Yeah.
Why? You have your master's. You have so much work experience.
I know.
You have research experience.
I know. I have a lot of experience behind me.
So why?
Because they'll say no at any time. Like, you never know what it is that school's looking for.
In general.
It's just rejection in general, because they have so many like specifics that you never know. Sometimes it's just you're not a good fit for those schools. Until the moment where I get a rejection from all those schools, I'm gonna keep trying. And that's my fault. I'm like very persistent with that. And like, let's say I do get an acceptance. Cool, great, I'm happy in that moment. Maybe later on I'll be like, why the hell did I pick this for myself? Why did I put myself in this position?
Yes.
Why am I in this life? But in that moment, that's my goal. I'm happy about it. If it doesn't happen, then you know what? I'm gonna be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done putting all this pressure on myself. I'm almost 30. I can't keep doing this in my life.
Right. You are overthinking it, though.
No, I'm 100% overthinking it, but that's me. That's the type of
Let's
person.
identify the cognitive distortion.
What do we say about therapists, though? Therapists are the best overthinkers.
100%. Yeah, we're the best overthinkers. I catastrophize so many things.
That's exactly what you're doing right now.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I'm not denying it either. But the reality...
Acceptance.
No, I am accepting it. The reality of everything is that, you can be rejected at any point. With anything, with relationships, with schools, jobs, and there has to be a point where you're just moving on. And my point hasn't even started yet because I haven't even applied. But I'm just thinking, I'm that type of person that I think too far into the future.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same
and
way.
it's just the anxiety of everything possibly coming through, and then, there are things that I want. At the end of the day, the goal is essentially to reach the finish line.
It's all about mentality.
Yeah.
Mentality
and so I resonate with you in that sense too. It's like, we can do so much, and we're constantly trying to better ourselves. And that's me.
Of course.
I'm constantly
there's
trying
always
to
a thought that once we put our mind to it, it's always like motivation, like, okay, I'm going to do it, but like, we're just it's just there.
It's just there,
It's just there, like waiting for us to
But
do
it's a
it.
form of motivation too.
Yes.
Like being able to distinguish that finish line, it's like, that's the motivation, that's what we keep fighting for, that's essentially why we're going to go. Whereas there are other therapists like yourself who don't want to go back for their PhDs, who are happier, who are happier with getting their masters and then opening a private practice.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
And that's your goal. That's your finish line, though. And whereas mine's different.
Yeah.
It's true.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, absolutely not.
Not at all.
For sure.
But you shouldn't be giving yourself that pressure because it's not helpful.
I will always 100% give myself that pressure. I know it's not, but I will always be giving myself that pressure.
There's always going to be some sort of pressure, I think, regardless of hitting the finish line. Like whether you want to move up, whether you want to, do this, do that. I think we're focused so much on the future we forget that we actually have to do things now too.
No, yeah.
You know, there's so much going on now, and you know, I believe there's not enough time in the day to get everything done.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that.
And also the pressure of being the oldest in your family. You're the baby.
I am the baby, but
Oh, baby, older, middle child.
Oh,
But-
Different
perspectives.
perspectives.
but also a different perspective for me because my brother's an alcoholic, so then there's this pressure for me to have to be like the perfect child. You know what I'm saying?
I
To
get
have to get a good to get a degree, to get a good job, to do all of that because you know my
Yeah.
you know.
It's a
I
lot.
get that. It is a
Different
lot.
pressures, different perspectives.
But let's talk about men's mental health in general.
Being a male counselor
Mhm.
obviously comes with its struggles.
Mhm.
So, what are some that you've come across so far?
There's definitely some boundaries there, but also some pluses, especially where I work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually the only male counselor at my job.
Wow.
Yeah. And before I got there, the last male counselor didn't work there since the 90s. You know,
Wow.
so it was a while. It was an all-female crew, which is common. We see that a lot. It wasn't surprising to me because it was the same misconception in nursing, when you know most of my class was females also, because nursing is mostly like that as well. You know, and I was one of 4 guys in my nursing class, so I dealt with it in nursing, and I'll deal with it again here. I would say like the common I guess limitation is that a lot of clients that I've seen over the years feels like they can't talk to males as comforting as females.
Interesting.
Yes. So there's also a time where when I started, clients were kind of against the fact that, oh, I have a male counselor. Is it possible to switch to a female? I'm not gonna. You know, that's your choice. I'm not gonna ever oh no, trust me, you're better with me. You know, but I think that's everyone expects a female counselor most of the time because that's expected. That's just the expectation. I think for a plus being there, I give a different perspective when it comes to mental health as well compared to a female. Males have this perception of being the tough guy, being the they have to they can't have any feelings, they can't have all this. When in reality, we got feelings too. We got feelings too. That's just something that people need to be more accepting of. You know.
That was a question that popped into my head because it's you know, you talk. You just state how you feel. And so it makes me wonder, you know, is it the fact that men aren't as in tune with their emotions as women are? Or can you shed some light on that?
I think it's a hard topic to even discuss because you know, like I said, there's a perception of men being the hard body, always don't show emotion. It's crazy because a stat I read was that, you know, it's more common for men to commit suicide, which is a crazy number because you'd expect them to correlate to be the same. But are people scared to go to therapy? Yes. But are people scared to talk about emotions? Yes. But I think the world today gives us that men can go to therapy, but you know, from a personal standpoint, I have my own therapist too for that reason. You know, I appreciate an unbiased opinion on certain things, and I don't think a lot of men see that way. Men see therapy as, I don't need help, I'm good. I'm gonna be the man of the family, you know? But if there's so much trauma going on, there's so many things going on in your life, it's easier to get an unbiased opinion, an unbiased thought, instead of going to your best friend and being what should I do? You know, because they're just gonna tell you what you want to hear, or just be a friend, or not tell you the truth, maybe sugarcoat it a little bit. You know, so men in therapy should be more common, but obviously we can't push that. You know, people should be more in tune with their emotions, but I think that's more of a personal level as well.
Yeah.
Me personally, I have no problem with telling my emotions how it is and speaking about it because we all know when you bottle your emotions, it's never going to be a good thing. It's never a good thing because then one day you're just going to explode, and what's that going to do? So it's just more trouble to yourself. So might as well take that now. I mean, obviously we studied it, so I guess we have a little more of an advantage. But you know, advocating for people and just showing that it's okay, I think should be more acceptable and more out there for people. I try to tell them to my clients too the same way. I'm like, just because you're a man doesn't mean you don't feel emotions. Like some people are shy when they talk to, when they come, especially with my male clients, when they come to talk to me and they're not open as much in the beginning because I'm a man. I'm like, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Like, sometimes you have to break that rule of like comparing yourself because like it gives them more comfortability to open up, and it's worked most of the time.
I was gonna ask about that too. Like, have you ever had male clients that just had difficulty opening up, and how do you kind of break their shell?
From a guy standpoint, I always try to break the ice with sports. I think that's something I like to open it up. Like, hey, like we don't have to talk about feelings all the time. You like basketball? Like, what do you like? Let me find a common thing to break the ice and also make you feel comfortable about talking first before we get into the hard stuff. And usually it's worked most of the time, which is good. Working with them, building that rapport. Once that rapport is built, then it's like, okay, so let's change it up a little bit. Let's talk about the emotions. Let's talk about why you're here. Let's talk about why you're feeling this way. So it's just like pulling the cord a little at a time. Like, we'll get there eventually. And I've seen it both ways. I've seen people, I've seen clients have a negative kind of thing to it. Like, no, that's weird. Like, let's not do that. Let's not open up. And have people fully be receptive to it. And you see a change.
To our male viewers that have not sought therapy because of those misconceptions of just like, you have to be tough and you can't show your emotions, what would you tell them?
I would say give it a chance. Sometimes you have to be uncomfortable to be comfortable. You have to be in an uncomfortable situation to really try to find yourself, and you're never going to know the real self if you don't do it, if you don't physically do it. And that's what therapy's for, to open it up. We want to open your eyes. We want to give you a different perspective on life. A recent friend who just finally decided to join therapy, and he said it was the best thing he could have done, and he waited too long to do it.
Wow. Because
he was scared. And you have every right to be scared. You're essentially just talking to a stranger and you're opening up, and it literally opens up doors that you thought you locked a long time ago, so, and there's trauma there that you haven't seen before, and it opens your eyes and you feel so much better as a person. I feel like if you just embrace it instead of kind of fearing from it.
You said that you were the first male in a long time to work at your job.
Yes.
Did you feel any pressures or any like insecurities being the only male there?
I'm definitely not the only male there, but the only male counselor, yes.
You know what I mean?
I think the only pressure was just living up to being a male counselor. Insecurities, not so much. I think that's more of a personal, like, I wanted to do well for myself. I wanted to be like, yeah, I'm here, I'm staying, I'm this guy. I've been in the restaurant business about 7 years, and sometimes being in a restaurant itself is therapy on its own, because it's easy to talk to me because it's just like opening up. I'm like a magnet, like, hey, come talk to me. You have a problem? Hey, come talk to me. So shout out to my restaurant people. But I think that's a big thing myself that I'm learning to embrace. At first, in the beginning, I was all like, do I really have that aura? Like, I don't want people just coming up to talk to me about their problems. But now I'm embracing, like, hey, like, if you have an issue, like, please say something. Please come talk to me. Let's have a conversation, because I don't want you to not feel comfortable around anybody.
Do you think that's your biggest strength, your aura?
I think so.
Me too.
I hate talking about strengths and weaknesses because I think it's just an awkward topic to talk about. But I provide like a nice positive environment for people. I've always wanted, hey, I want to socialize. I want to meet you. I want to meet you. I want to meet you. And like throughout my years of school, middle school, college, and all that, like I wanted to join clubs. I wanted to join this. I wanted to just be a part of everything because I like meeting new people. So I think that played a strength as well to who I am.
Do you ever have clients who are like, I like your vibe, I like your energy?
All the time.
I love that.
Yes,
like I do too.
It's a big ego boost too.
Oh my god, yes. Yes.
It's a big ego boost.
Like for me, my clients will say like, I love your smile, like you just give positive energy, like it makes me feel so comfortable to be able to open up to you. Like that is just everything. So that like when people tell me that, I'm like, nobody can tell me shit. Don't talk to me. I am amazing. No, I'm just like yeah, literally.
I have some clients go into my groups, my psychosocial groups, and they come into groups like, oh, thank God you're running it today, because I couldn't deal with the other therapists like you, because I guess everyone has their own style of running a group.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, my old CEO used to tell me like, don't forget, like they're watching you. Like the clients are watching your every move. They're watching your facial expressions, your behavior. So just be careful of where you are, who you're around, what you're doing. So always be aware of your of your surroundings, because you never know when a client's like, I heard you talking about this and you were acting like this certain way. I'm like, when was this?
No. You know what scares me is that I have a lot of clients that actually live in my town.
Ooh, yeah, that's.
They don't know.
Oh, same.
They don't know that they live in my town. They say, oh yeah, I'm from this place, and I'm just like, that's my town. And I see their streets. I'm like, shit, they live like 3-4 streets away from me. And so my fear is that I actually run into them in like the
Have you ever run into one of your clients?
That's no. Oh my god.
Oh,
no.
I could.
Have you?
I have a plethora of stories.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I've
Yes.
been very lucky not to have to
Yes.
run into my
Oh.
clients.
Even when, like, I know I hate the word, but like I almost gaslighted one of my clients.
What?
To-
Wait,
Yes.
I want to hear this. What'd you do?
No, it's not what it did. It was just funny. So like I said, I've been in the restaurant. I used to work at an Italian restaurant, and I was a server, and like we were always running around. And a lot of Italian restaurants, there's a lot of families, a lot of parties, whatever. One day I was super busy, and in the corner of my eye, I peeped. It looked like one of my clients, not one of my personal clients, but I know someone who worked that goes to my program, and I'm running around, and like we were taught never to engage right away. Like they had to kind of engage first.
Oh, 100%.
You know,
Yeah.
we never tried to. So I didn't engage. She didn't engage either. But I knew it was her 100%. She was with her boyfriend and her brother and I think her dad. You know, there were 4 of them. That was on a Saturday when I used to work on Saturdays. And then on Monday, she came up to me. We were getting ready for like morning meeting, something like that. She came up to me and she goes, I think I saw you Saturday. I was like, where did you see me? And she goes, oh, I was at this restaurant eating with my family. I'm like, no, that wasn't. No, I don't think that was me. I have a twin brother, so maybe like you saw him. Like I don't know. Like I've been, you know. And then I later down the line, I told her the truth. I was like, I'm like, yeah, that was me. I used to at the restaurant. That was me. I didn't want to say hi because I'm not sure if you were busy, but for the whole time, like she was telling people like I have a twin brother. Like I felt so bad that I was like, all right, I should stop with this lie. We shouldn't do that. I'm so sorry.
That's hysterical.
Now we laugh about it because it's funny. Yeah, and the same restaurant, we were so busy that like I would go to a table and like just like, oh hey, my name is Adriel. Nice to meet you. I'll be taking your order. If you have any questions, let me know. And then the one time I looked up, it was a client and his parents.
Oh my god.
Yes, and I was like, hello.
Like you, but like the person I've never met.
Yeah, but the parents didn't know, and like the client has a speech impediment. By the time he finally got it out, like he was about to say like, oh, like I know you. I stopped him. I'm like, by the way, I do work with your son. My name is Adriel. Like yeah, so like that was a more wholesome moment.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. But plethora of stories. People trying to avoid and like. See, at the mall, like I'll be seeing them at the mall or the bank, like I'm like trying not to get eye contact.
My job is only like 15 minutes away from me, so like
me too.
You know, and I also have some people that I went to high school also go to that clinic too. So sometimes I actually bump into them too. And like sometimes they'll say hi, sometimes they'll kind of like pretend that I don't exist, which is fine, you know. And I've had people on my caseload that are from my high school. So as soon as I see that, I'm like, nope, switch them to somebody else because I can't. I can't. So that's wild.
That's actually like a fear of mine too, is that somebody I know, like, because I just get assigned random people. Same. They just get assigned to me and then I see their intake day. I'm like, cool.
Oh, so then, you know ahead of time.
Yeah. But I don't see like the full name. And so I'm just like, wait.
So what do you see?
I just feel like their first name, their age.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, not even the last name. The first name is very,
Yeah. So thankfully it never has happened. But I whenever I see a name that I recognize, like first names, I'm just like, oh yeah, but I used to know a person with that name. I always like get the fear of like, what if it's that person? How will I react in that moment when they come into my office, sit in my chair, and I'm just like, hi.
I can't imagine that.
We can't.
I would also feel so bad, like knowing someone you knew before, and then now they're going through a struggle.
Yeah, like, for sure.
I'm not sure if I'm the right person for this.
And I feel the same way, like when I know that like some people from high school also go there, it's like, oh, like they must be really going through it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's hard to see.
Yeah, definitely tough to see. I agree.
Now,
I agree.
Let me ask you this. So, okay, for as long as I've known you, you do 1,000 million things every single day.
Well, you're a busy man.
So, how do you find time to practice self-care because you work 2 jobs? 2?
Yes, I do have 2 jobs.
You have like, I feel like you have like a daily routine every day, like a structured day every single day.
I try to.
So it's just like,
I try to.
Where do you find the time to do some self-care for yourself?
I do take my self-care seriously. Like I mentioned before, I try to get like a mani-pedi like once in a while, just because.
What a man.
Yes, shout out to men. You should do it just because it's a good feeling. I also try to get a massage every like 2 weeks to a month, just to relax, to decompress. But you're not wrong. I do a lot of things. I feel like, weirdly enough, I'm more productive when I'm busy. Like I just need to be doing something or stimulating enough to keep myself busy. So
what if you weren't?
What if I wasn't doing all that?
Yeah.
I would like, find something to do.
When you're in a room
yeah.
alone, like, do you overthink? Like, what would your life look like if you didn't have these 50 million things that you do?
I guess we'll never know. Okay. That's a good question.
I used to be like you,
yeah,
in terms of like being really busy.
I don't know. I'd definitely be in my thoughts. I'd be like, what am I doing? I do have my times where like I'll literally just go home and just sit in my room and like
rot in bed.
Yeah, just chill. Not even like with the TV or nothing. Just lay down and just kind of just take in the day, or just that's my realization.
Yeah,
you know?
And the reason why I ask is because like if I'm not doing something, I will put myself in a rabbit hole of sadness.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't say I put myself in negative thoughts. I think I would question why I'm there. Like, do I not have family to hang out with? Do I not have friends to hang out with? Do I not have a job to go to? Do I not have, this would be a perfect time for a significant other? Or do I not, is that a movie I can watch? Am I not hungry? Yeah, it's definitely questions in my head.
That's definitely really interesting because like, I used to be like that. Like, I need to do something. I need to. Like, I couldn't stay in the house, or I couldn't just sit still. And as of recently, I think the more time I have spent in this field, I have realized, like, you know, I need to take that time for myself, whether it's like a few hours or like a day where I'm just not doing anything, because at least for me, like, I'm constantly on the roll with like my clients, constantly doing notes, constantly treatment plans, PHQs, like so many things that work seriously, so many things that work that just happen. And I just feel like I just need to turn it off. Whereas before I was just like, oh my God, making plans with my friends. I would literally have every week something different to do with a different person. And I would like, yeah, it was fun. But at one point I like sat down and I realized I'm exhausted. I'm tired driving place to place to place. I don't want to do that. I just want to sit at home. And I did that. I just sat at home, and in the beginning it was kind of hard because I'm like, dang, my friends must be out right now, like having fun, doing
the FOMO.
Like, the FOMO, yeah, exactly. No, the FOMO's real. And so I always thought like, oh my goodness, like my friends are probably doing this, my friends are probably doing that. Like, my friends are always doing different things. Yeah. So I'm just like, I could be out, but as of right now, like, I need to check myself and I need to be like that. We all need to essentially take that time also to check in with ourselves.
Yes.
And say, like, do I really need to go out right now? Can I stay home? Can I spend time with, like, my parents or my siblings? And honestly, like, it's made so much of a difference.
I think I follow up to you when you said that you no just as because you've known me for like 2 or 3 years, and you know my schedule is super busy, especially recently, but it actually getting so much worse. My schedule used to be to the T, like every day, like from like 5 a.m. to like 10 p.m.
5 a.m.
I used to, I stagger it now, but I used to go to the gym 5 a.m. because when I'm looking through my day and my week, like it was the only time I could fit in gym, because my day was literally like gym in the morning, job 8 to 4, restaurant 5 to 10. That was like my typical like busy day. Go home, relax, sleep. Let's do it again the next day. And I wanted to really fit in a gym workout because I was self-conscious about my losing weight and trying to get to a healthy state, that like I knew that if I didn't go to the gym at 5, I wasn't gonna go I wasn't gonna go after work. After I just did 2 jobs, there was no way I was gonna go after. So my day was so compressed that way, and I agree, like, but now learning and hearing it from both sides, I do now plan my self-care. I plan like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna work these days and I'm gonna give myself today to fully just decompress, relax. I think a big part of that is my family and friends are in full understanding of like my life as well. Like my family gives me time to do what I have to do, but then like when it comes to having family time, like we set ourselves family time, good, done. My friends are in full understanding of our life. Like we're at a certain age in life where like, all right, let's get priorities done first, and then let's meet up for a hangout or plan a trip together and catch up there. A big part too is that most of my best friends, shout out to my best friends real quick, my crew, that they're in different parts of the world, you know, so I don't have to see them when I have to, you know. One's in the Philippines, one's in Hawaii, you know, one's married, you know, one's, you know, and a bunch of other people who are doing life. And I'm like, we all have an understanding of like, okay, yes, we have a job, let's do that. When we want to see each other, let's do that. But we don't have to see and talk to each other every day. It's like not like that anymore. You know, we've learned to grow from it. For me personally, like in my 20s, I was always like, let's go to the party, let's go to the city, let's go grab a drink, let's do all this.
Oh, I can't go into the city.
But like now, back then, I was all like, all right, where are we going this time? Where are we doing this? I'm just like, I could have like saved up for a house by now with all the money I was spending. You know, now it's more of a personal realization. Like, okay, now let me just save time for myself. Let me figure out what I want to do next. You know, and it's definitely hard, but you know, have your fun, enjoy yourself. But
sure,
when it comes to time where like 4 o'clock in my pajamas or whatever, I'm for it. I'm all for it. I'm all like for being home and doing nothing. But I'm also for having a busy schedule too. Like it's really just depends.
Yeah.
Can I tell you guys something that I kind of realized as we've been talking about all this? So I was telling you guys, like, I need to go out because otherwise if I'm alone, like I'm in a rabbit hole, right? So I was thinking, I've always been around people all my life. Like when I'm here, I was with my parents all the time. You know, like I was literally always up their ass. So because of that, I feel like I could never do well alone. If I were to move out of here and live alone, I would not be able to, because I would just be so depressed all the time. I feel like. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like attachment styles and stuff like that, but I'm wondering if that's like an anxious attachment style, because I was always around my family so much and just around, you know, my friends all the time in general and such. I'm wondering if like that has a factor.
It can be, because, you know, I moved to Jersey at 25 for grad school, but before that I lived at home for 25 years. I was constantly around my friends, constantly like doing things together, and it wasn't, and then I moved here and
complete 360.
A complete 180, and I was like, wait, I always said to myself, like, I want to know how I am living on my own. I wanted that scenario, that feeling, and thankfully I did try it out, and it's great. Like, I like living alone. However, I've also realized I did have an attachment to my family and my friends that probably wasn't the healthiest. And it was, I realized that when I was living alone because of the fact that I always wanted, like, I was constantly calling my friends and I was like, hey, when are you guys coming to visit? My family, like, hey, when are you guys coming to visit? And it's like, I was so used to seeing them all the time. And here, I didn't know anyone. I didn't know you yet. I didn't know people. And so I was alone. And that's when it truly, like, sunk in.
So listen, I also think that plays a role in my romantic relationships too. Like, I am a clingy person. Like I'm a clingy friend, I'm a clingy girlfriend. She's like, yeah, I know.
she had a smirk like,
yeah, she knows what's up.
I don't mind my business over here.
I'm gonna keep my comments to myself.
And I think that's also why I have difficulty letting people go. Like when they leave my life, or if like I break, or like, you know, I have a breakup or something like that, lose a friend or something like that, I get super fixated on that for such a long time, which we've talked about this before.
Yes.
And that I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of just like analyzing myself as we're talking about all these things.
You are your biggest critic.
Yo, I just had a breakthrough myself just now. Okay, anyway.
Podcast
I know, wow.
Pros.
So I think that just because I've been around people all my life, and I just love being around people.
Nothing wrong with that too. Yeah.
But then that makes me think, like you saying, like I had an unhealthy relationship with my friends and family. I feel that way too.
So what might need to happen? I'm not saying that you need to move out, but what might need to happen is that you start taking some time for yourself.
And I do. Like I'll
without
do some
them.
things. No. Yeah, and I do. I do some things by myself, like whether that be like going out to eat or going to the gym or like whatever.
You go out to eat by yourself?
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah, why not?
I'm not gonna lie to you though.
No, because I see her Instagram stories and she's out with her girlfriends, just like chilling and.
But the times that I'm not posting, I'm probably out by myself, just vibing and having a drink by myself or something. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's really important. Those doing things by yourself, right?
I was gonna say that you really have to like learn to be alone. That's not something that a person could just be. You have to learn to be on your own, how to handle that, and I think that ties into going to a restaurant alone because you're so used to going with someone, but just sitting at a table setting by yourself, enjoying by yourself is such a big leap from what we're used to.
I give people props who are able to travel by themselves.
Yes.
I wanted to last year, but I didn't have the balls to do it.
I don't have the balls.
That was my next. So I was supposed to go to literally the weekend that COVID hit, like March 16, 17. I had a solo trip to Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, and Portland has been on my radar for a long time, and I knew that. And my best friend, he started doing solo trips too. He told me that it opens yourself up to a new understanding of yourself. So I was like, you know what, I need that. I need a solo trip to experience that. I thought Portland was the perfect timing. Obviously, I didn't go because the world shut down, and I've been urging myself to go again because you really do. Like, you're so used to your environment here alone, but alone in a different state.
That's different.
Just way different.
You see, but the difference here is that you're a male and I'm a female. If I want to travel alone, I have to take so many things into consideration that I'm going to be by myself. And that's what sucks. Because I want to do so many things on my own, and I don't feel the safety of being able to do it on my own. And then also being in the career that I am now, your mind has heard so many things, and it's racing with all the possibility of things that could happen. That leads into the catastrophizing part of everything. But now you're just thinking, well, shit, like this can all happen to me while I'm traveling by myself, and that's what holds me back.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it definitely happens more commonly to women than it does men.
Yeah,
you know,
and you have the advantage of being able to do it. So that's why I'm just like, I would much rather, and I've been told to, like, travel in pairs. Like, yes, solo traveling sounds amazing, but for purely safety reasons, travel in pairs, in a pack, whatever.
Especially overseas.
But the problem is then trying to gather all those people, or at least like even one person to go with you.
Yes.
It's so hard, especially when you just want to pick up and leave.
Yeah.
I give props. One of my friends currently in Amsterdam, and he's been there for almost 2 years.
Shout out to
He's
him.
by himself. He quit his job.
Didn't even hesitate.
He didn't even. He's talked about it for a very long time.
When you manifest something, though, like you do it. That's
so I give him props for being able to just pick up and leave, and he's doing it. He's having the time of his life, and I can't just pick up and leave.
All right, my gaslighting king. Where is your mental health at today? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best.
Definitely not 10.
And if it's
not 1 either, but
not the best, what are you doing to address that?
I think my mental health is stable right now. I think I would say
Number.
Maybe like a 6 or 7, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 or 7. What am I doing now to kind of fix it? I think a lot of it's very physical also. I'm trying to, get to a point where I appreciate myself as a person. Physically, I'm not there yet because, there's certain goals I want to hit before, to appreciate myself. And shout out to my brother because he's the person that always pushed me, to get where I want to be, because there was a potential, like obviously in high school and college, where I was different. I was not this, that I was like 100 pounds lighter, and like living my dream and all doing all this stuff. And now I'm still doing stuff now that I love. It's just that it's different. My brother pointed that out. So, and it's a realization of wanting to get back to that. So that's definitely like pushing me to fix myself mentally and physically at the same time. So that's a good 2. That's why it's like edging at like 6 or 7, like nothing too over that. But
I think it's interesting that you are open about your insecurities, because men have difficulty doing that, right?
I agree. That's the perception of the world today, that if you have insecurity, there's something wrong with you. But if you don't talk about it, how are you supposed to fix it? Right? So I have no problem talking about insecurities or something like that, even though how uncomfortable it gets. My friend tells me all the time, if he sees something that he doesn't like that I'm doing, he's the first person to be like, yo, like, what are you doing? Like, step up, like, get your
accountability.
Get your shit together. And
Yeah.
I'm the same way with him, and like that's why we've been friends for so long, because there's a point like one week where we just go out to eat, or I was going out more frequently than usual, and my best friend was the first person to be like, yo, like, I know you love food and all, but yo, like, just be mindful of your health. Be mindful of this. Like, you can still eat and enjoy yourself. You could do it with controlling your health. And I didn't see it till now. Him and my brother have really just been combined to open up myself to realize that, and I'm okay talking about it, because I know like once I get back to where I'm gonna be, my mental health definitely soar from there. But there's limitations for sure. But when it tying back to self-care also, like that also helps me maintain my mental health. My schedule the way it is, even though like they say routine could be good and bad, I think my routine also helps me kind of maintain a nice little self-care, mental health positively in a way. So we try to avoid the negativity, so
Absolutely.
Yeah, so like I'm all about like if there's a negative thing, like let's get rid of it really quick. I'm not gonna pour sage over the room and make sure but like let's get rid of that negativity real quick, and that's it. So I don't want to surround myself with that. We don't need that.
No, you really don't.
Yeah.
Especially like after the career we have.
Yeah.
No, we do not need
100%.
that. We need to.
We hear about it. We see it so much that it doesn't need to. We don't need to take it home with us.
No, we don't.
We don't.
So
leave it at the door.
Let me ask you, what do you do to kind of close the door from work and step into like your daily life? What do you do? Sorry, let me rephrase that. What do you do to keep work at work?
It's hard because I tell Ash all the time, sometimes I have to take my work home.
So why?
Yes. I think that takes point where like sometimes in our field, like it's hard not to take it home. Whether it's the paperwork, whether it's just the emotions of what went through, or maybe something traumatic happened at work, or it's gonna come home with you because we're human beings. That's just the way we are. Personally, I think it's just de-stressing, like to the point where sometimes I'll sit in my car at work, or like I'll leave the parking lot and like I'll just sit there. I'll park somewhere and I'll sit and I'll just kind of just let it out, or I'll take my angers out at the gym, which is always a good thing.
Yes.
It definitely makes the workout more. Yeah. Taking a walk is definitely something I like to just experience fresh air, or just food has also been my comfort also. So just enjoying a nice meal and getting your head over it. But
getting your daily dose of serotonin.
Yes. Everyone needs it. Everyone needs a daily dose.
Keep the shirt.
I could be your daily dose. Shout out. But another reason why also I have a second job is because that is my leaving my job, because I go from a setting where it's so heavy with feelings, thoughts, and behaviors, and sitting behind a desk really most of the day, to a job where I'm always on my feet. I'm talking to people. I mean, I am talking to people, but in a different way. A lot of people go to my job like, oh my god, like we have to work the next couple hours. I'm excited to change environments, change your environment completely. So like going to my restaurant job, it's like, all right, now I can like be myself. I can kind of decompress. So as much as we want to leave it at the door, you know, we do our best to leave it there, but sometimes
It's hard
you know, go through the cracks.
Yeah.
But little things like the restaurant, little things like that, I appreciate it so much because it keeps me in check, keeps me human, it keeps me present instead of like worrying about the next thing. So I'll worry about it when it happens. I'll worry about it when I clock in the next day. Yeah, it's a future me problem.
Ashley's catchphrase.
We talked about a lot today, guys.
We did.
Really
great.
important topics.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you so much for coming.
Of course.
Seriously.
Your energy really is like your aura is awesome.
I appreciate that.
You're so well spoken. So again, thank you so much for coming. We also had a lovely audience member too.
Yes,
giggles
thank
and laughs and stuff.
you.
Shout out.
Shout out.
No, seriously, I want to say thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
I know like today was long, but
Yes.
you literally, even though like y'all only saw a little bit of the conversation, we've been talking since like
for a while now.
12 in
At
the
least.
afternoon.
Yes.
At least.
So
like almost 4 now.
yeah, it's almost 4.
Yeah.
So we've had a good conversation all day.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Also, I appreciate you too. You know, you guys work so hard. So shout out to you too for having this as well, and you know, I'm glad to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, share this with your friends and family. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok, Therapists_Unmasked, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Peace.